Health Services Workers Union suspends nationwide strike. And in Liberia, family of ex-Liberian President Charles Taylor demands payments for constitutional benefits due him. This is news live on GBC News and GTV. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the news. I'm Siyoko Kwakutre. The Ghana Health Service says 8 persons have died from suspected yellow fever outbreak in the Savannah region. This follows an interim laboratory results of an unusual disease found in the region. The Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bequin, assured that the risk in the country is minimal, adding that majority of Ghanaians in all 216 districts across the country have been vaccinated against the disease. The Ghana Health Service said the disease was presumed to be yellow fever and that samples have been shipped for final confirmation. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, said tests for other viral hemorrhagic fevers like Ebola, Lassa, Marburg and Zika were all negative. The affected persons were nomads in selected communities in West and North Gonja of the Savannah region who had never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The Ghana Health Service is urging all persons from the region who have fever, general weakness, headache, nausea and vomiting to immediately report to the nearest health facility. The service encourages individuals who had never been vaccinated against yellow fever to do so.
Ghana is one of the countries that is endemic. So as part of the response, we have vaccinated almost all the 260 districts in the country. So the risk in the country is minimal. What is the risk is that there are pockets, especially in the forest part of Savannah, that who are not being vaccinated, and they are at risk of getting infection.
Meanwhile, the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu, said a team of experts from the service, Center for Disease Control, Ghana, World Health Organization, Ghana, and the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research have been deployed to support the Savannah region to investigate and institute appropriate control measures.
We are looking at the extent of the vector presence in that locality, and we also determine the level of population who are not being vaccinated, and then we are going to actually do the vaccination. So we are actually going to confirm it and then do the implementation based on our findings.
A person with yellow fever may have fever and jaundice in the early stages and later bleed from any of the body openings like the nose and mouth. One may contract yellow fever through the bite of the Aedes mosquito, and prevention is mainly by taking the yellow fever vaccine or preventing the bite of a mosquito. The Health Services Workers Union has suspended its strike following an emergency council meeting with the leadership of the union's professional association. This comes after both unions agreed on a roadmap to have their concerns addressed by the government. Over 40,000 health service workers across the country have for almost a week laid down their tools in protest of unfavorable working conditions, leaving many patients stranded at public health facilities. Members of the Health Service Workers Union say government has failed to review the conditions of service of its members as agreed upon in 2016, but that of their sister unions have been reviewed on 2 occasions. A scheduled meeting between the Employment and Labour Ministry and leadership of the union on Tuesday of October 26, 2021 ended inconclusively. However, after an emergency NEC meeting held on Friday with the leadership of Professional Association, the leadership of the striking health service workers decided to suspend the industrial action. In an interview with GBC News, the General Secretary of the Health Service Workers Union, Franklin Owusu-Ansah, urged its members to return to work and discharge their duties accordingly.
We started the roadmap, that is the finalization of the agreement and the signing. Then the signing good with implementation. So by Monday, we should be signing, and the implementation starts the end of November. I want to do every 2 years we do this kind of negotiation. The government to run well, such that when we submit our proposal, we are met and we have a time frame within which we will finish. We didn't wait until we start negotiating 2019 and finish 2021. Negotiating took us more than 2 months.
The Ghana Police Church has dedicated its new and expanded chapel with about 2,000 seating capacity at the Liberation Road in Accra. President Akufo-Addo was among dignitaries who graced the occasion.
May your presence, your Shekinah glory, fill this chapel.
In the name of the Ghana Police Church, Accra, we accept these keys in token of the trust committed to us. Let us now proceed with the dedication.
Open to me the gates of righteousness, and I will enter into it and praise the name of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. The remodeling of the Ghana Police Church Chapel is the third renovation and completes the master plan for the church's current location. It is the largest expansion in its 56-year history. The reshaping of the chapel became necessary as the 600-seating capacity of the previous chapel was inadequate due to the growing number of congregants over the years. After a proposal by the chaplain, Very Reverend ACP Frank D. Chumba, for a larger edifice of worship, a building committee was inaugurated in 2006 to oversee the completion of the project, which started in 2010 in 5 phases. The expanded chapel has a seating capacity of 1,230, an overflow seating capacity of 1,400, and a compromised capacity of about 2,000. It has a crucifix form with a round-up central space to give the auditorium a feeling of openness and a communal atmosphere. It has a number of symbolic elements, which include the body of Christ, the ceiling cross, the choir loft, exploring the sanctuary, the altar, pulpit, lectern, and baptismal fronts. The chapel also has a multi-purpose meeting spaces, a 6-story office support building, and ancillary buildings such as a bookshop, snack, and security houses. At the dedication of the chapel, the moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Right Reverend J.O.Y. Mante, said Christians must uphold the church's spiritual purpose.
The church is established to help people reconnect to God. And that is why I want to beg Ghana Police Church in this beautiful edifice. When people come here, please make sure that church services are such that people's souls, people's hearts will be reconnected to God. Let's spend more time on spiritual matters when we come to church. I want to be a better society if we allow the values of Jesus to be central to what our core social values are.
The Ghana Police Church hopes to continue with its mission to fulfill the mandate to make disciples by bringing everyone on board. Rachel Quarty, GBC News, Accra. Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Mr. Sidi Mohamed Tunis, says the greatest legacy he wants to leave behind is the adoption of the direct universal suffrage. He says with this in place, it will ensure that representatives to the sub-regional parliament are elected by the citizens of member states. Mr. Tunis believes this will make the parliament strong enough to make binding resolutions on member countries. Article 18 of the Supplementary Act provides that representatives of member countries into the ECOWAS Parliament are elected by their various countries, yet this is yet to be implemented. Currently, the representatives are selected by the parliaments of the various countries. In its current state, the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Mr. Sidi Mohamed Tunis, believes that the sub-regional parliament does not have much influence on political happenings in member countries.
You have to understand that we are talking about authority of head of state. That's the highest layer. And you're now talking about a parliament. My power does not reach the point of going out there to condemn a sitting president. No, I can't. I can never do that. But as a parliamentary speaker representing the over 300 million people, it's my duty to actually have a conversation with our head of state. And that's exactly what I did with the former president.
He said the best legacy he hopes to leave behind is the adoption of the direct universal suffrage.
When we have a parliament that has its full competence, then you will have the parliament that will play its rightful role in the sub-region. When the MP knows that he was elected by people to serve them, trust me, that MP will be accountable to. Once we have that, the parliament will now have its full competence. And trust me, they will have the authority to come out with resolutions that will be binding, that will even be binding on certain governments or on the governments of the sub-region.
On Guinea, the speaker said while they condemn any coup attempt, they do not approve the constitutional amendments by some heads of state to prolong their stay in power. In reaction to the inability of the ECOWAS Commission to intervene in political activity of some countries, Mr. Tunis sympathized with the challenge of the sub-regional body.
Current chair, President Addo, has now more or less, along with his colleagues, they have now more or less instructed the ECOWAS Commission to begin to review the protocol on democracy and good governance. Because when you have a protocol that can bite, for example, like issues of constitutional amendments, you have the protocol clearly stated that you cannot do this, if this happened, this is what should happen, then of course, ECOWAS Commission will be able to do something, and that's exactly where we are at the moment.
Guinea is currently facing suspension from the ECOWAS Parliament following the coup in that country.
If they have a transition acceptable to ECOWAS, then the equivalent of the parliament that they will create in their country will be recognized by us.
For now, the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament says the legislature is working with the regional body to review the protocol on democracy and governance to empower the regional body to curb the excesses of the sub-regional heads. He says the ECOWAS Commission and the authority of heads of state must do everything possible to return Mali and Guinea to democratic rule. What's your mental view when you hear of a new market? The likely expectation is a state-of-the-art market, but it is a relatively different scenario at the Nkranza New Market in the Nkranza South Municipality in the Bono East region. We'll take you on a visit to Nkranza's New Market. Nkranza's New Market is in the Nkranza South Municipality of the Bono East region. Even though it is called a new market, 99% of the stalls are wooden. It was virtually empty when GBC News got there on Wednesday. As a farmers' market, it is held only on Tuesdays when farmers across the region and elsewhere congregate with their food produce to sell on wholesale. Therefore, nothing happens here on any other day of the week. On the day of our visit, the only sign of people here were at the grain session, where a truck was loading maize that had been bought to transport to other parts of the country. Also scavenging were this young boy and a woman, as well as a handful of young boys relaxing on some of the stalls. Also visible was a collection of waste that was generated from the activities of the traders gathered at vantage points awaiting carting by the waste management companies. Occupying a large area, the Nkranza New Market is not new, as in the word new, since it has existed for some years now. If you ever thought the name new had anything to do with modernity, then you are wrong. You will get some good farm produce on Tuesdays. So you will have to plan your marketing for only that day of the week from the Nkranza New Market.
Peggy Amadonko, GBC News in Kranza New Market.
Almost every household in Ghana buys one food item or the other from the market. There are cereals, tubers, vegetables and fruits. Most of these food items are not measured in quantity by international standards. Market women at the West Central Market have cited the culture of generosity as a factor preventing them from using a measuring measurement. We are taking you to the West Central Market in the Upper West region, where our correspondent Swala Abdul Wahab is standing by to tell us more.
If you take scale things and sell, many people will not say it, because they will say that the thing is very cold still. Let me add the jara again. All the customers will run away and leave us.
Mostly it's because of our educational level. Most people in the market, the whole Ghana, we are not educated. We those educated sitting here that can use the skill is because we didn't get jobs. And if the skills come now, it wasn't there. Our parents, our mothers, our old women in the market, they can't read it. They can't read it. If you want to introduce it, it will be very difficult. It will take time for them to understand, or for us to educate them to be able to use it. If not, if you get them, we will start to, but it will take a very long time. We travel to Burkina to buy tomatoes, everything they weigh, oil they weigh, rice they weigh, everything, yams they weigh, but here we not be seeing it, unless meat, and sometimes the meat cry, people don't accept the way.
The law is clear. We have NRCD 1975, that is 326, that states clearly that anybody who is selling an item that has to do with weighing, like heavyweight mass or measuring liquids and other things, that you have filling stations and other things using the fellow or the trader has to acquire a weighing or measuring instrument and then call Ghana Standards Authority for calibration. Thereafter, the fellow can now use it for trade. Using weighing scale or a standardized weighing scale is just like any other standard that one is using in trading. It has a lot of advantages. You see, I just saw a Gary seller who is using a can. They have named it Olunga. And then she is using that in selling. This way, she may cheat her client or the buyer. Yes, and who knows, she may also be affected, but because she hasn't taken time to analyze it, she may think that favors her. When the education goes down and people themselves get to know that, yes, if I use the scale to sell, I will gain more. More people will have confidence in what I am doing. The cost or the losses will be minimal. And all these things, I think they themselves will understand. And then what I will add to it is using weighing scales. In fact, calibrated weighing scales for trade and goods which needs to be measured or weighed is the best. Internationally, it is practiced. So nobody can dispute that fact that it is not good. Just that maybe they need to understand and face the reality that indeed it is good. And so maybe we also continue the education just like we have started now. And maybe a time will come.
The Ghana Girl Guides Association, as part of its centenary celebration, has inducted 8 patrons to help advance its drive to building and shaping the lives of girls and young women across the country. The association says this target group need more technical knowledge to bridge the gap of the computer world.
The Ghana Girl Guides Association was established in 1921 by late Mrs. Ofuate Kujo and is dedicated to empowering young girls and women to take up leadership positions in society. The association's centenary celebrations started in November last year on the theme 100 Years of Training, Transformation and Impacting the World Through Girl-Led Action. The climax of the celebrations will be in December 2021. A number of activities have been held as part of the celebration. The latest program is the induction of patrons at their training center in Accra. The patrons include Director of Human Resources at the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, Mrs. Jennifer Boabeng, Technical Advisor to the Minister of Education, Dr. Perpetual Ajimai, Assistant Headmistress of Achimota School, Madam Lydia Bante, and Chief Executive of Shigrosit, Dr. Ashley Milton. The rest are a representative from Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Mrs. Barbara Friye Wusu, a research fellow, Department of Public Health, Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Dr. Mary Coleman, a Kwansrehini of Gomwa Chimpim Traditional Area, and Obatan Hima of Gomwa Achimfo Nana Kwiku Akonwa, and the proprietor of Edlis Montessori, Mrs. Lydia Adote. Speaking after their induction, the Director of Human Resources at the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, Mrs. Jennifer Boabeng, and a research fellow at the Department of Public Health, Noguchi Memorial Institute, Dr. Mary Coleman, challenged other patrons to give up their best to push the Girl Guides agenda forward. The Chief Commissioner of the Ghana Girl Guides, Mrs. Zakia Abdul Wahab, said the agenda now is to equip the girls and young women with skills which will empower them to be agents of change.
We have grown our membership through our partnership with Ghana Education Service, granting us permission to engage with all government schools in Ghana through the Girl Child Education Program.
The Ghana Girl Guides Association is working to train some head porters with skills that will see them managing their own businesses soon.
Parents with children diagnosed of asthma have been advised to follow instructions on prescribed rescue and controller inhalers or medications during attacks to prevent symptoms from flaring up. At a webinar on childhood asthma at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, a pediatric consultant, Dr. Kwabena Jepon, encouraged parents and teachers to observe children who present symptoms of asthma for early treatment.
Asthma is a condition in which a person's airways becomes inflamed, narrow and swollen. Extra mucus is produced in the lungs, making breathing difficult. This triggers cough, wheezing when breathing, and shortness of breath. The condition is usually managed with rescue inhalers to treat symptoms and controller inhalers to prevent symptoms. Asthma attacks can be mild or fatal. Health experts say people with mild asthma are also at a risk of severe and fatal attacks. However, some people, especially parents of children with asthma, underestimate the severity of the condition due to lack of education. The webinar on childhood asthma was to educate parents on the conditions and treatments to control it to enable children with asthma lead normal lives.
Children who have asthma, if they don't get the right care for their asthma, it prevents them from going to school regularly. When they go to school, they are feeling sleepy, they can't learn well, and they also cannot participate in play and other important activities for children.
A pediatric consultant at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kwabena Ejapon Isuman, advised parents with asthmatic children to follow instructions given on how to administer prescribed medications for the condition.
Parents that have children with asthma should ensure that they follow the instruction that the doctor has given. They should make sure that they are giving the inhalers, especially the controller medications that they've been instructed to. They should give it as prescribed.
Madame Ama Ampon Ajimai Prempe, a parent with a child diagnosed of asthma, shared her experience on how she manages the condition.
I have a 9-year-old son. When he was 2 years old, that's when we detected the symptoms, and I have asthma myself, so I was able to recognize the symptoms of wheezing, difficulty in breathing, coughing, recurrent coughs. And so we reported to the pediatrician, and then they confirmed that it was asthma, so he started treatment for it.
The program forms part of a series of webinars organized by the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to educate the public on various disease conditions.
You're still watching News live on GBC News and GTV. We're taking a short break. Please don't go away.
It's a 2 Ghana cedi coin to facilitate business and ease pressure on the lower denomination banknotes. The new coin has a 10-sided bimetallic material with outer gold color and inner silver color. The front image is the Ghana coat of arms and the back image is the Jubilee House. It has a latent image on the front which changes from the numeral 2 to a star when tilted. At the back is the small lettering of Ghana to cedi in the gold area. Accept the coins and use them. I see a safer future. I see how access to basic
healthcare. Others may see a healthcare entrepreneur, but I see myself as Ghana's frontline, keeping
In business, the Don Bosco Technical Institute Ghana and Invest for Jobs, an initiative of GIZ, has opened a kick-off job fair in Accra. The fair is to facilitate discussions with the private sector and industry players on how training institutions can equip the youth with employable skills that meet industry needs.
In Ghana, Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET, is a major facilitator of skills development. The informal sector hosts a range of economically active population who usually gain their skills through traditional apprenticeship with the traditional vocational training system that ensure employment for over 90% of the Ghanaian workforce. The Invest for Jobs and Don Bosco Corporation since inception have trained 205 people, with Don Bosco offering a short-term training and placement services in the areas of automobile, electrical and electronics, hospitality, logistics and warehousing. The acting component leader, cluster focus of GIS Ghana Special Initiative, Madame Diana Krieger, said €1 million was invested into the project to empower the youth with employable skills. The principal, Don Bosco Tech Ghana, Reverend Father Mark Ishen, said the project provides hands-on training to empower the youth with market-oriented skills and upskill the skills of older workers.
It is a specific training we want to give, but we don't want the students to remain there. As we give this training, we expect them to deepen their own further education, either by continuing from here or continuing from other places else. So we give them the necessary tools so that when they go out, they can build upon these tools as they go on with their own activities.
Some students who participated in the fair spoke to GBC News.
I have been able to achieve a better standard. I've improved in my career.
What I want those in the lifted industry, those learning, especially the forklift, they must learn also the man lift, crane, and other things. They should not be only focused on whatever they have learned here. They must try as much as possible to be versatile in whatever they do.
GIZ says its objective is to train 2,000 individuals and connect 70% of the participants with local industries by the end of 2022. The kick-off job fair is on the theme Youth Employment, Bridging the Industry Education Skills Gap.
Still in business, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union has called on the government to ensure that the casual and temporary workers' tendencies are abolished in the country. The ICU made the call when it marked the World Precarious Month in October.
Precarious work is work that does not give equal pay for equal work, does not give opportunity for personal development, denies workers medical facility, work that deprives the workers of future financial security like social insurance and other benefits like personal loan, rent advance and car loans. The month of October has been dedicated for the observance of precarious work worldwide every year. On this occasion, labor unions expose and emphasize on the evils of precarious work, which some organizations and employers practice under the guise of outsourcing. According to the ICU, some of these precarious workers are not paid through the mainstream payroll and are denied the Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 benefits, thus jeopardizing their future financial security. The ICU says government also loses tax revenue from these workers since no tax deduction is made from their pay.
The union says the menace of precarious work to these class of workers and its ramifications on tax revenue to the government is quite obvious. To this end, the ICU has called for the Labour Act to be amended to address concerns associated with precarious work in the country, which have been raised by the ICU over the years.
And that's it for your business.